Okay, so I know you're feeling emotional right now, but let's think business. We both think that it would be smart to trade Bosa now. In retrospect, would it have been smart for the organization to trade Bosa instead of extending him like they did a couple years
So
ago?
even prior to the injury, like if you asked me this last week, I would have said yeah. I'd never thought they should have paid what they paid him. Not because Bosa is not elite, but just because I feel like that money could have been spent better elsewhere. The team was already starting to stress about salary cap come this year. And I just thought you could have. I think I forgot who was drafted 2 years ago. It might have even been Thibodeau. I was saying they should trade up for one of the premier edges in the draft. Um, and yeah, that I think they should have.
Yeah, I mean, what did you end up getting for, was it 5 years, $170 million, $35 million a year? You ended up getting 19 and a half sacks and another season-ending injury in week 3. Like, you planned your whole defense around him, and now he can't be out there, and you're paying him anyway. Uh, I think in retrospect, the signs were there.
Yeah.
He had a season-ending injury in 2020. He had a season-ending injury his final year in college. He had a season-ending injury in high school. Like, it happened to his dad. It happened to his brother. He was breaking down before he got to the NFL. And the fact that he put together 2 dominant years after tearing his ACL was very impressive. But
Yeah.
you got to be ruthless. The Chiefs don't make everyone a core player. They traded away Dee Ford. They traded away Charvarius Ward. In retrospect, it would have been super savvy for the Niners. How many first round picks do you think the Niners could have gotten for Nick
If they
Bosa
traded him off his
in
DPOI,
2022? Yeah.
was it 2022 or 2023? Was it because that was the draft, right? 2023. Yeah. So this is what I was saying. They should have traded Nick to D'Amico Ryan's Texans and grabbed Will Anderson Jr.
PrizePicks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for playing. Use promo code Cohn, COHN, and download the app now.
That was what I wanted them to do. I was trying to figure out which year it was. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he signed it.
That would have been a really smart move.
He would have signed it in 2023, right? That's when he signed the deal. Yeah. So that was what I was wanting them to do. You trade it because the Texans had 2 picks, so they could have still gotten CJ. They could have gotten Nick, paid him. And then I wanted us to get Will Anderson Jr., who's obviously a stud right now. So, and he would be still on a rookie deal.
I hope the Niners learn their lesson from this. You've paid all these players. You finally said no to Juwan Jennings. It's a good start. But sometimes someone in the future who was the offensive player of the year or the defensive player of the year, you're going to have to say, you know what, thank you very much, but we don't feel like you are worth it going forward, and we're not going to pay you for what you did in the past.
Yeah, I think that applies more to Christian because Nick was young, right? Nick was young at the top of his game. Like, it makes sense to extend a 25-year-old defensive player of the year. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think, yeah, you really gotta. The Niners don't think enough. They they've reacted way too often, and I think this is the first offseason where they haven't reacted. They've been like proactive, right? Like the Lenore signing last year, and then they signed George, Fred, Purdy before it got hairy. They signed McKivitz before it got hairy. Like they're finally starting to be proactive with contracts instead of reactive, like the Nick contract, the BA contract. And so I think, yeah, man, I definitely think Nick should be traded, but the issue is, do I think they'll do it? Probably not.
Mark Antonelli says we're living in a fantasy world if we think we could trade Bosa coming off an ACL tear with that contract. Isn't that crazy?
We can.
Isn't that crazy? How you can get, I mean, a week ago, he had the most trade value of anyone in the organization. Now, people are going to want to see something from him before they cough up, heavy draft capital for that and the contract. I'm not saying they can't trade him, but it just got way more complicated.
Yeah, you're not going to get 2 firsts, but you could definitely get a second or a third, or a second and a third from Nick. It's a clean ACL tear. It's not like
that's a tough pill to swallow, but I still would take that because I don't want that contract anymore.
For sure. Yeah. It's not like he blew out his knee like BA. So